Welcome back to Truth Over Wine with Lily and
TJ.
So we're back again. So excited for all the support that you guys have been giving us. Of course, you need to like, comment, and
subscribe.
As always, TJ, what are we drinking tonight?
So tonight we are actually having some delicious Merlot. It's Decoy from Sonoma County. Deliciousness.
Very delicious.
Yummy. Very good. Smooth and absolutely.
It's been our favorite the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
So favorite red so far.
Really good.
I can't. So tonight we need to have a conversation. Top 10 things you need to do before you get in a relationship.
It's a lot of fun things.
I don't know if they're fun so much, but they're definitely things that you need to think about before you decide to settle down.
Yes. Let us start with
number
10. Setting boundaries with family.
So a lot of people would go, setting boundaries with family, what does that have to do with your relationships? So I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people where family dynamics affect their relationship.
People stick their noses where it doesn't belong in situations that, you know, maybe you and your significant other should be handling on a 1 and 2 basis, not a 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So
taking the time out to have the discussions that you need to have to repair relationships that you need to repair before you actually get into a relationship is a very good idea. And some of that hurt and pain might affect you being able to be the person you need to be in those relationships. Last but not least, just what TJ said. There are people who might want to get involved in places they shouldn't need to get involved in. And it's your responsibility that you set the boundaries that you need to set.
And sometimes we do it unintentionally, especially like parents and stuff. A lot of times I want to say I've been a culprit of it with my children. I mean, my mom has done it with me, and a lot of times we take it with a grain of salt, but it can be very detrimental to your relationship. So really having that communication with your family, if it's your mom, your dad, your sister, your brothers, and just setting those boundaries is definitely something key.
And letting them know that it's something that you want to do. Sometimes simple communication can make the difference, right? Yeah. Hey, I'm looking to get into a relationship, especially for divorced couples. People who are divorced, your children, you should have conversations with them about you being ready to date. You don't just spring people on your children. You have those conversations so that they're prepared for it. People who are young and you want to get into a relationship, prepare your parents. Hey, I think it's that time in my life where I want to settle down, so that it's not awkward when you bring that person home.
And especially if you're not a dater or you're not really someone that's been in multiple relationships, it can be very impactful to the people around you that all of a sudden you're giving all your attention to somebody else, or now they have to share your attention with somebody else. And that includes children, right? So it's definitely, setting boundaries is definitely a biggie here, for sure.
Agree.
Great.
Number 9.
Reevaluating your friendships.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
That's a biggie. Just because you're ready to be in a relationship doesn't mean that everybody around you is ready for you to be in a relationship. But more importantly, making sure that you have the right people around you who want good things for you, so that when you get into the relationship, nothing bad happens. It can get awkward.
I don't know how to put it into words. Not all friendships should come into your relationships.
Not all friends are good friends.
Yeah.
It's just facts.
It is.
So just make sure that you're looking at the people in your life and making sure they want good things for you, and that you have the right people in your life before you start a relationship.
And you want to pick them properly. You want to have positive people, positive energy around you. And
misery loves company.
Yes, it does.
So sometimes they're not going to be ready to give you the best advice when you're going through hard times in your relationship. Some people, some single women enjoy having single friends with them So you probably want to get some married friends who are going through the same things you're going through, because they won't exactly understand what you're going through if they've never been married before.
100%.
Fair?
100%.
Number 8. Check your baggage. At the door, honey.
That's right. And what do we mean by that? All your past experiences, all your negative experiences, that is baggage that you carry around with you. Especially when you're starting a new relationship where everything is fresh and you're getting to know someone and you're starting to build. Your past experiences, if you have not overcome them, they become that baggage that you carry and you bring into your home, and that can be detrimental.
People talk about bad relationship with their parents, how they affect your ability to find someone to love or to love someone properly.
That is so true.
Or to love yourself for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that you have those come to Jesus moments.
You've cleansed out the soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've let go and you've forgiven yourself and forgiven others, and that way you can be happy.
And let go. And let go.
And it'll allow you to love and be loved, because sometimes we don't allow people to love us. So
check your baggage.
Check your baggage. Leave it outside the door. Get rid of that baggage.
Number 7, making sure you accomplish being single.
I love that one.
I love that one. So going into relationships or getting into relationships, I think a lot of people make the mistake of not enjoying being alone and being single and getting to know themselves. Traveling.
Live by yourself.
Yes.
Party. Hardy.
Go
party
to the club.
hardy.
Get it all out of your system.
Date
And date some more.
Date.
That's the only way you're going to figure out what you like and what you don't like. So making sure that you accomplish being single.
Which is perfect. Accomplish being single. First of all, when you accomplish being single, you're going to know what you like, what you don't like, what you want, how you want. And in every way, emotionally, sexually, mentally, it's just a combination of all. So just make sure that you definitely accomplish being single at the right timing.
I agree.
Being in a relationship and trying to accomplish your single life is not the right timing. So let's do it before.
Definitely not. Number 6.
Number 6, time management. We need to work on time management when you want to be in a relationship, because it can be very difficult.
Well, you can't say you want a relationship and not allow for time to enjoy your partner. You need to make sure that you set time aside for said person. And if you're still working,
going to school,
it might not be the right time to invite someone new into your life.
Or you can, right? But if you don't have proper time management is the problem. Because you can have your significant other while you're going to school, while you're working. That's fine. But if you don't have proper time management skills, you might end up giving more attention to one than the other. You might end up putting school off because you're giving too much time to your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your significant other, and vice versa with work. It can affect your personal stuff, your personal life.
So making sure that you yourself do a good job at understand what your priorities are and what your responsibilities are, and still making time for said person is going to be an important part of making that relationship work. So time management.
100%.
Number 5. Communication
skills.
So, in order to let your partner know about their time or their part in your world, you need to be able to have communication skills. In order to be able to make a relationship work with said person, you need to be able to know how to communicate when things are going well and when things are not going so well.
And the key thing here is anyone can have a relationship. The situation here is, can you have a healthy relationship?
I agree.
Because I can be in a relationship and it could be very toxic. So in order for us to have a healthy relationship where we're going to grow and advance and move forward, eventually, hopefully leading to the next steps, you want to be able to communicate so you could have that healthy relationship and not the yelling, the screaming, the fighting, the arguments, because communication is key. And knowing how to communicate, I think.
Listening.
Yeah. And that's a skill within itself.
In itself.
You have to learn how to listen.
There's no way, you need to be able to hear what it is that your partner wants and needs from you. And I think that people usually are great talkers, but they're not great listeners.
Agreed.
And you need to be able to have both of them be your strength in order to make a healthy, happy relationship.
Number 4 is physically healthy. It's so important for us to be physically happy, physically healthy, and by that I'm not just meaning the way we look, but it's the way we feel. Making sure that we're going to the doctor, making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, making sure that we're going to the dentist, making sure that we're fixing whatever it is that we need to fix, so we can put all of our time and energy into that new relationship that you're starting. And that also now links into the physical aspects of it, because if you're going into a relationship where you're self-conscious because
or insecure,
not confident, that can lead into different situations and issues in your relationship.
It could bring jealousy. It could bring a whole lot of negative things that you don't want. When you talk about being physically healthy, I think about honesty. Right? There are things that you may be going through that your partner needs to know about, so that they're able to understand. There are mood swings that come along with certain health issues. So making sure that, 1, you know what your health issues are and you can communicate them. But 2, if there's any way to avoid those health issues so they don't affect your relationship, you should do it.
Absolutely.
Right? And you want to be able to live with them for as long as you possibly can.
And you don't want that, because again, there's certain things that are out of our control, and it's our health, right? But making sure that we communicate with them is key, so they can help you along the way through your good days, your bad days, and again, knowing actually what's going on with our bodies is extremely important, because that's all going to portray out into your relationship at one point.
I think last but not least, you want to be able to be active and have fun with your partner. And if you're not physically fit, that may affect your ability to be able to have the best times with them and to enjoy moments with them. So making sure that you're taking care of yourself, I think, is extremely important.
Definitely. Number 3.
Financially stable.
It's a big one. I don't think anyone wants me to come into their life for them to support me. I think you want financial stability. You want to bring to the table, the same, or if not close to the same as your significant other.
You don't want to be completely dependent on anyone.
Yeah.
I think that if God forbid it doesn't work out, it shouldn't be that you're stuck somewhere simply because you're not financially stable. Making sure that you can take care of yourself and walk out when you want to walk out is really important.
The worst feeling that you can possibly have is not being able to move on because you don't have the finances to do so, and then you're stuck either in a toxic relationship, in an abusive relationship, in a bad relationship, period, because you've been financially dependent on that person.
How about the other side of it? There's a positive side. You guys want to do things with one another. How are you going to buy your first home together, take care of children if you're not financially stable? So making sure that you take care of your credit, making sure that you have savings. These are all things that you need to think about before you get into a long-term relationship, because they're going to affect your ability to accomplish things together and to build a future.
Yeah, and making sure, and sometimes we start really young and start really early, so long as you are building together, because a lot of people are in relationships at a very young age, and again, so long as you have that communication again, and we discuss where we are, where we want to be, and what we're going to do to get there together, and you do it as a team, then that's also another option. But making sure that you bring the financial stability to the table is key.
I agree 100%. 100%.
Yep.
Number 2. This is a harsh one.
Mental health.
I think we kind of touched on it earlier. making sure that you have taken care of everything you need to take care of. When we talk check baggage, I think that's where we touched on it. Your mental health is probably the most important thing when it comes to your relationship. If you are not happy, if you do not love yourself, how can you expect to in turn be able to make someone else happy or to be able to love?
It won't happen. It won't happen. So when you're mentally not okay, by default, it affects everyone around you.
Mm-hmm.
And in return, you become even more confused and or miserable, and it can
make for a toxic situation.
Really toxic situation. And not only that, but it can also affect the other person mentally.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because it is mentally draining to deal with someone that is going through issues that are not being taken care of.
I was just about to say, and I think that's the most important part, taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And taking care of the issues. So, not saying that if you have mental health issues, you can't be in a relationship.
Of course you can.
But you need to know what they are, and you need to be able to communicate them to your partner,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to be able to have the tools. You might need to invite them to your therapist with you so that they know how to handle certain situations. But if you don't know what's going on with you, you are ill-equipped, and you can't help them to be equipped to deal with the challenges that are going to come with being in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And in return, again, it can become mentally draining and emotionally exhausting also for the person. So definitely taking care of yourself mentally is huge. Counseling, taking that day to yourself.
Oh my gosh, I love a mental health day.
It's so important.
I love a mental health day. Just making sure that you schedule them as you need them in your relationship.
And let me tell you something. There is nothing wrong at all with getting a little guidance or even talking to that friend and just saying, hey, listen, this is what I'm going through. This is what's happening. Because life can be overwhelming and it can affect us differently.
I think everyone could benefit from a little bit of therapy.
Yes.
I think that relationships prosper when everyone is getting the help that it is that they need. Mm-hmm. So mental health, absolutely important in order to build healthy relationships.
Absolutely.
Are we ready for the number one?
Number one.
Set your standards.
That's a big one.
That's why it's number one.
Number one. It's a huge one, right? If you're not setting your standards and you're not setting them from the beginning, it is a pathway that you're building to what?
Picking up anything on the streets and holding on to them, but not what's for you. So,
and some of us tend to do that.
Some of us tend to do that.
Some of us tend to do that, where we think that either we're not good enough, or that's, no, it's okay. No one else is going to want. No, somebody else will want you. 100%.
I think that's why you spend the time with yourself, so that you could get to know what your negotiables and non-negotiables are. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I need somebody who cooks because I don't. I need somebody who is financially stable. I need somebody who enjoys traveling.
Someone that's funny, that has a great sense of humor. Might be a non-negotiable for someone. Setting boundaries.
Religion.
Do
you want children?
Have,
political points of views.
Anger issues. Do I want to really deal with someone that has anger issues, right? These are standards that we all, as different personalities and different and different views, we all have different standards. However, your standards should always be high, and also you want a reflection of who you are and what you are in the person that you're with. I think that's a big one.
At the end of the day, you need to know who you are and what you'll accept and what you won't accept. And that's what the time alone is for. Set your standards. That way, when you go into a relationship, when you start meeting people and you start seeing the things that you don't like, You already know what you'll stand for and what you won't stand for. Everyone has faults, but there are certain things on your list that you know that you're going to walk away from. Don't waste your time. Well, we've reached the end.
It's been great with you guys tonight, like every week.
So, you know that we post videos every Sunday night at 7 o'clock. And
we go live every Tuesday at 8 on Instagram
and Facebook. You can find us at TruthoverWine. Finally, make sure you comment below. What kind of things do you think you need to do before you get into a relationship? We love to have the dialogue with you.
Absolutely. But most importantly,
subscribe. Hit that red button below, and we'll see you next week.
It's been a pleasure.
Bye.
Have a good night.